African American, people of color, we are the faces of resiliency. People just don't know it.
Having the strength to overcome whatever situation you have been placed in or whatever you're going through in that moment.
So the question is, how do we bring those voices to the table and understand their resiliency and what makes them resilient?
African Americans are survivors. That point, unfortunately, is not often captured when we talk about black health.
Let's go, Eric. Come on, push.
These things are important issues because there are facts that support that. However, that's an incomplete picture. What needs to be emphasized more is the reality that despite adversity, African Americans very often do very well. Despite that, there's way too much high blood pressure, diabetes, and other cardiovascular risk factors among African Americans. But 85% of African Americans do not have manifest heart disease. Over 50% of African Americans don't have hypertension. It's important to understand that this is true despite the many challenges, the adverse circumstances that many African Americans face. That is a phenomenon worth understanding better. We need to look at African Americans and their health in its totality, not focusing only on the negative. There are potentially many contributors and promoters of health in the African American community. We're going to take a look at the environment.
Kaylee, kick harder so we can go higher.
We're going to look at them as individuals as well. You know, what are their habits, their behaviors, not just diet, but how they approach life. Even things that involve their attitude about the challenges that come their way and how they cope with them. We want to understand better how people recover from challenge. You know, looking at younger people and how they deal with major challenges in their lives, such as socioeconomic challenges, but also health challenges, how they rebound. All of that is an important aspect of resilience that we want to explore over the course of this series. There's a lesson for all people. Resilience is understudied. We intend to change that here at the Cardiovascular Research Institute and Morehouse School of Medicine.